Good morning and welcome to NewsWare's Trade Talk for Wednesday, July 8th. Okay, let's get into the action. Take a look at the S&Ps, which are lower by 0.61, about 0.6%. Positive because we were down like one full percentage point, so we're seeing a little bit of a rally here, but we're still going to be trading lower. The decline this morning was really due to the comments from President Trump at the NATO summit. President Trump indicated that the ceasefire with Iran is over, and earlier this morning, the U.S. launched airstrikes against Iran, including that Karg Island facility, and that's a big oil hub for them. As a result, we're seeing equities fall. Oil prices are displaying strong gains this morning. President Trump also commented that Spain is a terrible partner. He said that they don't participate, they don't pay, and he wants nothing to do with them, and told Treasury Secretary Bessent, to stop all trade deals going on with Spain. No formal, actions have been taken, but the tone is very clear. On the economic front today, we get the Fed meeting minutes. These are going to be interesting. In corporate news, Apple lost its legal challenge against the EU's landmark DMA, Digital Markets Act. Salesforce, their mission force was adopted by the U.S. Air Force for fleet operations. Keep an eye on Costco, ticker COST. They're going to be releasing their June sales data after the bell today. Earnings news, we're still waiting for Levi Strauss, who's scheduled to report this morning. After the close, we get AZZ Incorporated. They're set to release, and tomorrow morning we get PepsiCo and Simply Good Foods scheduled to report. Okay, taking a look over Europe, the DAX is down 1.8%, or 457 points. It was down over 200 points, so that's not bad. But the selling is broad-based. Utilities are higher, which is kind of what is expected. The FTSE is down 1.04%, better than the 1.4% that it was lower this morning. We've seen some, lower activity going on in pharma, mining, and consumer staples. And then you have France, which is down 1.78%, with luxury goods among the weakest performers. When those renewed tensions in the Middle East dampen the outlook in Asia and the Middle East for consumer demand. Turning over to Asia, Asia basically was, lower. We had the Nikkei fall 2.11%, led by weakness in tech, consumer, and industrial stocks. The yen strengthened, and that's always negative for equities in Japan. Hong Kong, on the other hand, bucked the trend. They were actually up 702 points, or 2.99%, with technology shares, showing a little bit of a rebound. Less sensitive sectors to oil also increased. In China, the Shanghai finished lower by 0.49%, led lower by weakness in travel and mining stocks. We're looking at oil, and oil is trading higher this morning, up about 5%. WTI is trading at $73.92. Brent's at $77.91. Middle East headlines really dominate the narrative this morning. EIA stockpiles due out later this morning. API reported crude inventories fell by 399,000 barrels for last week. And then we're moving on to the earnings. We got to start off with Helen of Troy. That's ticker HELE. The stock is trading higher. It's up 5.42%. They beat by 15 cents on higher revenue. Levi Strauss, we're still waiting on. Upcoming, we got PepsiCo. They're scheduled to release tomorrow morning. Their EPS is $2.19. Expected move is 4.15%. In terms of economic reports today, EIA crude oil inventory report, the official data comes out at 10:30 a.m. And then at 2 p.m. we get the Fed meeting minutes. Now, they're expected to be lighter than usual because, Chairman Warsh is more inclined to give less data about what's happening in the meetings than previous Federal Reserve chairman. So I'm not expecting it to be a momental event, but it'll be interesting to see what type of data we get from the Fed meeting minutes as compared to what history has been giving us. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about the stocks that are moving today. We got Apple. They're going to be spending $30 billion in Broadcom chips in a deal that'll see that Colorado factory expand. Amazon's launching an AI tool to simplify open data sets discovery on AWS. Meta's weakening this morning as AI bubble fears mount. Netflix, Disney, Google, they're all interested in the broadcast rights for the FIFA World Cup in the next two World Cups. In terms of Dow Jones 30 stock, Salesforce Mission Force adopted by the U.S. Air Force for fleet operations. Apple lost its challenge against the EU Digital Markets Act. In terms of Catalyst news, Citibank adds 3 new names to its Catalyst called 90-day upside list. They added Intuitive Surgical, ISRG, Charles Rivers Laboratories, CRL, and GE Healthcare, GEHC. Okay, now in terms of our pick of the day, I'm going to go with Verizon, ticker VZ. Fact of the matter is, got an environment of elevated risk that creates opportunity here. Yesterday's call volume, 44,000 versus 24,000 on the put side. That's a 0.56 put-to-call ratio. That's in a sweet spot. Open interest, 603K to 524K on the put side. Major brokers still like it. They still like the stock. For an entry price, I'm going to say, 42, 45, somewhere around that range. If I can get in that area, I think I should be able to make the 1%. But that's my pick of the day, Verizon, ticker VZ, Victor Zebra. Okay, moving on to the stories that are hitting the tape this morning. Let's see what we got here. Amazon Blue Origin seeks to raise $10 billion at $130 billion valuation. Hormuz traffic holds steady as tensions flare. That's an interesting headline. Cloudflare, ticker NET, announces research pilot with OpenAI. Home Depot expands delivery for overseas military families. U.S. Bancorp, U.S. Bank announced the launch of enhanced payments. Alibaba had a big gain overnight in Hong Kong. Lockheed Martin's trading higher. They're the ones that make the missiles. So we used a lot last night. They're going to be reordering. That's all I'm saying this morning. So now we're going to move on, and we're going to talk about our pick of the day from yesterday, which was Levi Strauss, ticker LEVI. It worked out. I mean, the stock opened 24.69, fell to 24.50, and then rallied to 24.97. I did say 24.50 is an entry price, and it did hit it, and then it rallied more than 1% from there. You look at the stock this morning; it's already hit a high at 42.89. Oh no, that's the wrong ticker. It's already hit a high at 24.91. So, yeah, I mean, it worked out. I mean, based on that entry price of $24.50, Levi Strauss, LEVI, was a winner. All right, traders, that concludes today's NewsWare's Trade Talk podcast. You guys know what to do. Let's go out there and let's make some green.